To help us understand why the existing road crown line work does not match up exactly onto the profile string in these particular areas, we're going to turn on the display of section sample lines, which is something that we did with respect to the design data form and applying multiple templates. We're going to go to the Roads tab and click on Toggle Display. And there we're going to go to Section Sample Lines and then turn on the display of existing road crown and then click OK. What you'll notice is that wherever we have one of these yellow lines, this is where the software has drawn our template and then also applied the design variation. So it's moved the left edge of bitumen onto the profile string. In between, however, that hasn't happened. To resolve this, what we need to do is to add additional sample lines to give us that detail and have the template being moved onto the profile string all the way through. To do this, we go up to the Resample Sections pull down and click on the button which is Add Extra Sections. It wants us to pick a string that we were going to edit, so we're going to left click on Existing Road Crown, and what we're going to do is to add a range of extra sections through a chainage range of our choice. So we've got two ways of doing this. We can pick on screen the start and the end of these locations, or we can type in numbers. So I can see the start chainage would be prior to 180, finishing around 200. So in the first cell we'll type in 175, the end chainage will be 200, and then the spacing can be every 1. Now, rather than clicking OK and leaving the form, you can just simply click on the refresh button to see the change. As they've now gone in, we'll need to zoom using the zoom button here. We can't just simply pan in the drawing. And you can see how the line work marries up very, very well through those particular areas. Now, you could refine this further. If I press Escape or Enter, you'll notice that we can continue to add entries. So if we wanted to, we could refine the area, say for example around this curve, and add in detail of every, say, 0.1. The picking option, which we've got here, is an alternative to typing in the cells. So if you can't actually see the changes, then the picking option is a good way of adding these in. So what we'll do is we'll select the row at the start by clicking on this little arrow and then clicking on the Delete Entry button. If you strike refresh, those will now be removed from the drawing. We're going to use the Pick Start End Extents button. This wants 2 clicks. So the first click is just going to be somewhere roughly here. If you've got your snaps turned on, I recommend that you turn them off. Otherwise, the first point will be to wherever your snaps connect you to. And once you've left clicked, you'll notice down the bottom on the command line, it then says Locate End Chainage. So I'm just going to left click roughly just up here. As soon as we do that, the software adds those 2 points in and then uses the spacing value of every 1 to add in these samples. So we could change these values and round them off if we want. You don't need to be showing these sample lines in the vertical grading editor. These are really here to help us refine the geometry. We don't need to be seeing them in respect of the vertical design. Click OK. Now we're going to turn the display of the sample lines off. We're going to go up to Toggle Display, Section Sample Lines, Existing Road Crown, and click OK. If for whatever reason they don't disappear immediately from screen after closing the form, just type RE on your command line of your CAD platform and just press Enter to refresh the screen. Finally, we're just going to look at how we can manage the design variation we've added in. So if you don't have a cross-section window open, that's absolutely fine. You can go to the Vertical Grading Editor pull down, click on Section Window, and then you can left click twice, roughly around chainage 180, firstly to pick the string, and then secondly to pick the chainage. What I'm going to do is to right click in the cross-section window that we've got open here, and then click on Open Section Design Data. You can see the entry that we made earlier, and this can be edited or removed if we want to. We can also review this in the design data form. So if you go to the Home tab of the cross-section window, we have direct access to the design data form, so we can click on that, click on Variations, and the entry we've added in is sitting there. Now, further to some of the comments we made when we previously reviewed this part of the form, you can always go in by clicking on the little Add Entry button and add a comment. adding a comment will help you describe what's going on with the variation, and it is an excellent discipline to get into when you're applying design variations on strings. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to close that down. Also going to now close down the cross-section window. Let's now have a look at the results of this design change in Model Viewer. You can see how that intersection has been moved and tied back up. You can even see now we've got some nice smooth transitioning going on over the course of that profile string. Now we're going to have a look at how we can control the elevations of the profile string in association with existing road crown.